Oh wait, I almost forgot to tell you about why this will not be a part of our fall release. Let's just say we are only a couple weeks away from the launch of my fragrance brand, Mace, so welcome to where I basically live now, my perfumer studio. One of my 12 core strategies for launching this business has been to formulate my own blends, to be the head perfumer of Mace. It's easily been the most difficult part of this entire process, but it's also the most rewarding. In this video, I'm going to show you the materials I use to practice perfumery from home and share some of the struggles I've faced, some inevitable, others completely avoidable. I'll also give you my 3 biggest lessons I've learned along the way and why it's so important to maintain creative control of your business. So, a little backstory. Almost all major perfumery materials come from just a few major fragrance houses: Firmenich, Givaudan, Symrise, and IFF. Yes, basically every brand you know and love uses ingredients that come from these same companies. But so the artistry lies not in having these materials, but in how you use them. These companies don't sell in small quantities either. So we use outside companies to buy these large bulk items and resell them to hobbyists. That's where I source most of my materials, and it works out well because it saves space, saves money, and it still gives me access to the real thing, all while working from home. In my last video, I talked about the cost of all this, but today I want to talk about the journey, what it took to create the final final 4 fragrances that I'll be launching in just a few months. More on that one later. So, fun fact about me, I'm a huge perfectionist, but I think being a perfectionist works very well in perfumery. If there is an off note in any of my fragrances, I will not sleep until I get it right. That stubbornness is what allowed me to believe that I can get it right on my own. I'm very competitive, but mostly with myself. I started formulating for months as a hobbyist, long before I ever planned to sell a single scent. But once I decided to go public with my work, I knew I wanted to release more than one fragrance. I mean, some people start with a single scent, and that's smart, but I wanted options for both my customers and for myself. I wanted to learn what people responded to and what I enjoyed creating the most. And of course, that also means I have a graveyard of failed fragrances, actually all right here behind me. But that's all part of the process. For every scent that made it to the market, there were dozens of iterations behind it. Perfumers usually tweak about one element at a time so they could observe the change, then slowly make new changes. These formulas develop and bloom over months and months. So even if I wanted to, there's just no rushing the process. Each of my finished fragrances took about a year of development. That brings me to my first lesson, the power of patience. Early on, I was desperate to be great right away. I'd rush changes or tweak too many things at once. Eventually, I learned that progress comes from patience, from putting a fragrance away for months, then returning to it later with fresh insight. Honestly, it's a lesson that applies to everything. All good things are worth waiting for. So lesson number 2 is letting go of your ego. Once I had 8 strong fragrance contenders, I invited my friends over to rate their favorites anonymously, and wow, it was a humbling experience. Some of my personal favorites were panned by my friends, while others that I thought were kind of mid were actually loved by everyone. And it taught me to let go of attachment, to know when to listen and when to trust my instincts despite their criticism. I mean, it's a give and take that honestly I'm trying to refine each and every day. So the third and most important lesson is to keep learning. That's why we're here today. I'm in the studio working on my spring release fragrances, and I'm experimenting, I'm iterating, I'm failing spectacularly, all in the hopes of creating that one breakthrough fragrance. You know, every day I study the work of other perfumers, I'm testing new materials, and I'm keeping my curiosity alive. Because honestly, I never want the learning to end. So if you're a creative business owner, it is so important to stay connected to the heart of your work. That passion to be better is what fuels innovation. By understanding the technical side of perfumery, I can communicate directly with the customers about what they love and respond from a place of real experience. Even if I collaborate with perfumers in the future, as long as it's a Max and Mace product, I'll always have my hand in the creative process. I mean, that's what this is all about. That's why I got started in the first place. Next Tuesday, I'll show you a day in the life of running a business as a single employee. The good, the bad, and the very, very sleepy. Until next time, see you then. Oh wait, I almost forgot to tell you about why this will not be a part of our fall release. Let's just say you gotta humble yourself and know when something's just not a hit. I had to take a hard look in the mirror, a hard look in my nose, and realize that this is not a fragrance that is ready for the public consumption yet. And that's all a part of this process. It's about iterating, but it's also about knowing when to call it. So unfortunately, this one's gotta go. It's not good enough for you yet.